Hey everyone! Today I want to talk about Johnny Guitar from 1954 by Nicholas Ray. This is the 17th episode of my 1000 favorite movie series, where I talk about the movies I love the most in a random order. We've finally come to the first Western on my list, possibly one of my favorite genres due to their simplicity, yet ability to encompass a huge amount of variety of everything from story to themes to environments. A perfect example of the different kinds of movies that can encompass the genre is this one, Johnny Guitar. While it has many of the standard elements of westerns like gunfights, a posse, passages of horseback riding through rocky terrains, and so on, the style that permeates all aspects of the movie is really unique and memorable. By the way, if you want to see more videos about more of my favorite movies with more great Japan locations, well, good news. I upload a new one every Friday, so please like and subscribe to see them all. I'm a very small channel, so every new like and subscription is much appreciated. Thanks so much. Now back to the movie. Firstly, the movie is called Johnny Guitar, and there is indeed a character named Johnny Guitar, played by Sterling Hayden, but it's clear that the main character who has our rooting interest is Vienna, played by Joan Crawford. And if you think about it, except for one crucial action around three quarters into the movie, Johnny Guitar doesn't really affect the plot very much at all. He's kind of just along for the ride. Vienna owns a saloon that's frequented by a small gang led by the Dancing Kid, none of whom the townfolk like. A stagecoach is robbed at the beginning, which everyone assumes the Dancing Kid's gang did, even though they didn't. A woman named Emma, played by Mercedes McCambridge, leads the charge to not only persecute the Dancing Kids gang, but mostly Vienna by her association with them. See, Emma had romantic feelings for the Dancing Kid, but he prefers Vienna, and this drove her deep hatred for her, and basically made her want revenge on the Dancing Kid, too. Actually, Emma's brother was killed in the stagecoach robbery, but you never get the sense that she's going after Vienna for that. Rather, you always get the sense that she's doing it based on a deep seated anger. Or could it be because she actually has feelings for Vienna? Maybe. That's for the viewer to decide. But whatever the case may be, the movie certainly serves as a metaphor for persecution not based on evidence, but based on fear and hatred. For example, early on, Emma and Co. manipulate a witness to the stagecoach incident's testimony that it may have been the Dancing Kid to that it definitely was the Dancing Kid. And more powerfully, later on, when the posse finds Turkey, the youngest member of the gang that recently robbed a bank, they tell him that if he confesses that Vienna helped rob the bank, which she didn't, then his life will be spared. While some of the posse at least seems uncomfortable in doing this, Emma is the driving force, bloodthirsty for Vienna's life. Of course, one could tie this to the McCarthy hearings that were happening around the time, but when Emma talks about how soon the railroad will bring, quote, thousands of new people from the East, and that they'll push them out, I think the door opens to many other metaphors. This fear stoking, combined with Emma's sexual frustrations, gives the movie a political and psychological depth that you don't find in too many westerns, and of course make Emma a great villain. But what really makes the movie stand out from other westerns is its style, in a number of different ways. For one, while the male performances don't leave too much of an impact, Joan Crawford and Mercedes McCambridge both give really expressionistic, theatrical performances as Vienna and Emma. It seems like for most of the movie, they have so much bottled up emotion that just about every line breams with tension that can just explode any time. I don't mean to say that they're one note, and Vanna especially has quiet and calm moments, but the lines are delivered with an undeniable intensity that gives the movie some of its magic. This is first displayed in the first scene between the two, in the saloon after the stagecoach incident. Vienna stands above Emma and the locals, in which they have kind of a verbal standoff, and she threatens them with a gun. I remember when I first saw this movie, I didn't know what to make of this scene. Its long, 5 minute length of theatrics struck me as totally different from what I'd seen before in a Western. And while the scene admittedly seemed too long the first time, now I appreciate the intensity, as well as its slightly strange atmosphere. There's another stylistic element to the movie that, frankly, isn't something I usually notice in most other movies, and that's the costumes. Joan Crawford's outfits are, interestingly enough, one of the most memorable things about this movie to me. She wears six outfits in the movie, and they're all so different from one another, including the iconic yellow one she wears at the end, and the fiery red one with blue jeans, and the sensual red night one. And of course, there's the white dress that makes her almost look motherly and angelic, especially as she comforts the dying John Carradine, and in the beautiful dolly shot that shows her playing the piano in an empty saloon. The costumes for the posse are also memorable, as they all just came from a funeral, so they're all dressed in black and white for the rest of the movie. This uniform appearance emphasizes the mob mentality they have. All these colors have a kind of boldness and richness, especially when combined with the environments, that used to exemplify the great color movies of the era that haven't really been present so much as of the past few decades. Some of my favorite moments of the movie show the wonderful eccentricity that makes a film special. One of them is one of the only times that Johnny Guitar actually plays a guitar. He starts to play at the dancing kid's request in the middle of the tense standoff between Vienna and the locals at the beginning. Once he plays, the dancing kid grabs Emma and dances. There are many little things I love about the scene. Let me try and list them all. Johnny's face as he plays, the song itself, Emma's surprised and bewildered face, the smooth motion of the dancing timed to the song, the second when Emma closes her eyes, the dancing kid's finishing pose and Emma's covering her mouth out of emotion, and just the absurdity of the whole situation, like how everyone else is just kind of still, silent, and serious. There are a few other little moments that stick out to me that express the movie's personality. I like where Turkey tries not to be a boy and shoots some things off a table, but then Johnny immediately rushes through the door and shoots the gun out of his hand and does that Western thing of shooting the gun on the floor. I just love the immediate action by both people, especially Turkey to just randomly start shooting inside the saloon for no reason. Also, the way he says, "I'm a man," is sure to get a big laugh. There's also the moment where Emma shoots John Carradine, who then shoots the marshal, and the way they both slowly lean backwards after getting shot. The timing of the cut between the two shots is just perfect. Finally, there's also Emma's smile as the saloon is burning down. She truly looks possessed here, finally getting what she's wanted for a long time. But in the end, what I love about Johnny Guitar is that it's not quite your typical Western, with a style that took me a couple of viewings to appreciate, but now I think I understand it well. The acting by the two female leads, the colors, the costumes, and the dialogue are all slightly exaggerated in a way that makes this a great cult film, but the compelling story with its interesting themes really complete the experience. Nicholas Ray made very few westerns, but he has a distinction of making one of the most original of the 50s. It's one of my 1000 favorite movies. Thanks for watching my video. Goshou makoto ne arigatou gozaimasu. Have you seen Johnny Guitar? Let me know what you think in the comments. I think of all of my favorite movies as my friends, and I think of my audience as friends too. Remember, I upload a new video every Friday, so if you want to help me complete this 1000 favorite movies epic, don't forget to like and subscribe.